Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mr. 008 here, and today I have for you episode 7 of my tower testing series in BTD6. So in today's video, we are going to be testing out the brand new buffed Pirate Lord, which is a lot stronger than it was before the update, and I've heard that it is pretty strong in terms of just being able to go really far in the, even into the late game, just by itself, and it sounds quite OP for its price. So let's go ahead and place a Buccaneer there, and we will go ahead and get Geraldo soon as well, but first we would like to make sure we can get the action figure, and not have the value go up faster than we can get then we can actually get it, because otherwise it wouldn't really be worth it. We are also going to be doing a little bit of farming in this game, not too much because the Pirate Lord is quite cheap. Let's go ahead and turn auto start on. Pirate Lord is 21,000 plus another 7,000 or so from prerequisite upgrades, and the initial tower itself maybe a little closer to 7,500. So overall it's still only $28,500 total, and I don't want to spoil how far it may get based off of what I've heard.
There you are. Let me check my stock.
Yet, so I'm not going to say too much about how far it may get just yet. But what I will say is that you guys will probably be surprised by how strong this tower is. So let's go ahead and get the action figure right there. And I'll just put a Dart Monkey right here just to accelerate the early game and pop each round a little bit quicker. And we will get started with farming pretty soon as well. So I would like to also point out in this video that as of the time I am recording this video, an update has been released for Bloons TD6 that now allows you to take up to 4 Paragons rather than 3 into any individual game. And I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that 4 is enough, or do you think that Ninja Kiwi ought to just reverse things or make it specific to boss events? Because I think that it should be specific to boss events, the Paragon limit, and it doesn't really matter whether it's 3 or 4. If we're talking about a boss events only type of limit, but for anything other than boss events, there should not be a limit in my opinion. If they're trying to limit lag, they have other ways of going about that don't inhibit one player's abilities to have fun just going late game if they want to. So I think they should be looking into that rather than limiting players' abilities to just test things late game and enjoy themselves in that sense. There is a mod out, I heard as well. I actually heard about this from Bloons, that there was a mod out, because I watched his video on this, where he got all 6 Paragons despite the Paragon limit, and there is that mod that allows you to bypass the limit. However, unfortunately, I do not have a device that is capable of running the mods because my computer is a Mac, and only Windows devices, as far as I know, can run these mods. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but the good news is Ninja Kiwi is working on providing mod support just in the game so that it won't be really dependent on what kind of device you're playing on. So let's just get Grape shot there, partly because of rebros, but also just because there are a lot more Bloons starting to show up. And I would like to not have each round take a while. So yeah. But getting back to what I was saying, I do look forward to when I will be able to get mods without having to worry about, it, like, a compatibility issue concerning which device I'm playing on, or without Ninja Kiwi, without me, like, risking my account, like, getting banned or anything like that. Granted, I'd play on a second account if I was to do mods anyway, but still, like, I wouldn't want to risk getting banned for something that isn't necessarily wrong, because I wouldn't use anything for, like, infinite monkey money or cheating in multiplayer games, which are pretty much the only things that Ninja Kiwi doesn't like when you use mods for it. And I did hear that Ninja Kiwi, when BTD6 first came out, around that time, like, they were not big on players using mods, and, but thankfully the player base sort of spoke up and said, we're not cool with you not being cool with us, finding other ways to enjoy the game, and yeah, now mods are, I don't know if mainstream is the right term, but mods are not considered taboo anymore in Bloons games, thankfully, at least BTD6. I did watch some videos before BTD6 came out of players modding in BTD battles, although, for those types of mods, those were mainly just, like, going late game with, like, super strong towers and things like that, but, it's fun to think about, like, how mods have evolved over the years and, like, kept up with the advancements of the games and all of that, like the series and the Bloons franchise in general. So I am glad to, like, just witness things changing for the better in front of my eyes as far as my favorite games and game series are concerned. So we are coming up on round 40 pretty soon. I'm just going to get a few marketplaces here, because I kept forgetting to collect my banks towards the later parts of the game in my previous video, although it doesn't really matter that I forgot to collect from those banks, because we already had our Inferno Ring anyway, and I already said I wasn't going to, like, spend money on buffs or anything. So I'm just going to get 4 marketplaces here, nothing too special or fancy, because we just want to make sure we have enough money for the Pirate Lord in the time we will need it, plus an MIB, of course, because I'm going to be going for the top cross path for more raw DPS output, and the double shot and all that will help more than +1 pierce, a little extra range, and camo detection. So let's get double shot now, speaking of which, because we are starting to see the Bloons get farther. And let's also get triple shot for our Dart Monkey. And we will get our 3rd marketplace. And we will be ready for the Moab pretty soon as well. So overall, not too shabby so far. It's just that we don't have camo detection with our main source of popping power, but that will be fixed pretty soon. And overall, we should be good to go. So I still remember, speaking of the Monkey Village, let me tell you a little bit about what I remember of the Monkey Village. When I first started playing Bloons Tower Defense games. So when I first started playing Bloons TV games, the strongest, or rather the Monkey Village was like a pretty strong tower, and its final upgrade, at least along one of the paths in Bloons TD3, was Monkey Storm, I think, which allowed you to spend money for a Monkey Storm ability, where a bunch of super monkeys would fly across the screen, and they'd pop pretty much any non-Moab class balloon immediately, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And so there's our MIB, and I am going to sell this dart monkey right here. I accidentally got a destroyer, so let me sell that real quick and get the middle path, the monkey pirates. And I got the wrong cross path right there, but again, no big deal. I'm not going to panic or anything. I'm just trying to focus on both commentating and on playing at the same time. So there's the monkey pirates, and it's pretty powerful, as you guys can see, especially with shooting. I think it shoots like 3 cannonballs on each side that each deal like 2 damage or 3 damage, I think. So something like that, and it is pretty strong. It's popping these fortified ceramics pretty quickly, and the Pirate Lord is not that far away, in fact. Now, unfortunately, its range does not cover where the balloons are coming by right here, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal, because it's still got pretty good coverage, and it's not like it won't be able to hit Moabs that are traveling along that part of the path, because Moabs do have bigger hitboxes, so it is fine in that regard. And getting back to what I was saying about the monkey villages, though, monkey villages were called monkey beacons in Bloons TD 3 and 4, and in BTD 4, the monkey storm was the tier 4 ability, because in BTD 4 there were 4th tier upgrades, not only up to 3rd tier but all the way up to 4th tier upgrades, but it was just one path, it was not multiple paths. So let's get this Pirate Lord right here, and if I'm not mistaken, I think its grapes are like 1 or 2 shotting ceramic balloons, and rainbows are going down to greens, so that's like really powerful, especially for its price. So I want to see how far we can get with this tower, and we'll see. And how much is the action figure worth? Almost 25,000, so not bad. In BT4, the upgrades for each tower, there were just 4 upgrades along one path, and for those of you who are curious, the 4th tier Buccaneer was the battleship, which is basically the same thing as the destroyer is in BTD 5 and 6. It would just attack really fast, and so in that sense it was one of the most powerful towers in the game, and it was the strongest water tower in the game because there were no monkey subs until BTD 5. But yeah, it's just fun to think about like how much Bloons has changed since I first started playing it, and yeah, so we are almost around 60 with the Pirate Lord so far, and it's holding its own very nicely, and we are looking good so far. We'll just hook in that BFB right there, and we won, but again, winning is not what we care about as much as testing the strength of this tower. and seeing what its true limits are.
I have
So
something
we
new.
will see how far it can get in this game, and hopefully it can take us pretty far. And again, I'm not going to even get jungle drums for this tower, like until it gets to the point where it just loses no matter how I target it or micro it. I'm not going to get jungle drums until that point. And its official score for this series, for the purpose of the series, is going to be whichever round it gets to and beats, without any kind of assistance other than the MIB. So, in that sense, the Inferno Ring, spoiler alert, so if you want to go check that video out now instead of like hearing me spoil it, and you have not watched it already, go ahead and check that out. But the Inferno Ring got in last video to round 98 and beat that round, but then it lost to the last couple of fortified DDTs. The closest I could get was popping all of the fortified DDTs, but the fortified Camgro ceramics from inside of one of the DDTs would still leak, and I had to exit out of the game to make sure I wouldn't lose at that point. So, yeah, it was not able to beat round 99 without the assistance of the jungle drums, but it was able to beat round 100 without the jungle drums. So, I even tried switching the cross path, and that did not end up helping. But for this series, I am just going to choose what I believe is the best cross path. And even though we don't get the extra range, so we can't attack over there, at least for normal sized Bloons, I think we're better off with the double shot anyway. And at least as far as not taking forever on certain rounds is concerned, it is nice that we can just hook in some BFBs, especially because they're super slow. It helps to just hook them in immediately and not have to worry about, just having to wait things out. So let's just keep hooking them in when we can. And let's check on the action figure anyway. $69,000 as of round 74. I think we got it on round 9, something like that. So yeah, investments do pay off when done right. And we're at round 74 now. Still, this tower is not even struggling, so we'll see how it does against round 76. I'm not sure if it's going to make it look that easy, but judging by how it did against round 63, I wouldn't be surprised. So let's just keep going and put in those 2 BFBs as well. It's hard to tell, but there are 2 BFBs that are like nearly stacked on top of each other at the end of round 75. There are actually 2 pairs of BFBs that are like that at the end of round 75, which is part of what makes it such a difficult round. So, for those of you who did not know that and are wondering just why is this round so hard, that's why. Here we are on round 78. 76 was not a problem. And there are 75 ceramics right there, just that massive rush, and it did not give us a problem. The Bloons barely made it close to the halfway point on this map. And even on most other beginner maps, perhaps on intermediate maps as well, at least some of them, we would be able to just beat these Bloons without having to worry about needing extra support. So that's pretty nice. But again, I think it is definitely overpowered for its price. I'm not gonna lie there. And I do think this tower definitely needs some kind of nerf to make it fair. But I would still like to have fun with the tower and just push it to the limit while I can. So, here's the action figure again. Almost $93,000 on round 80. Just hook that ZOMG right in when the ability is ready. And now we are on round 81. So, we'll just keep hooking in BFBs and ZOMGs when we need to. And DDTs as well once we get to that point. So, round 81 we are starting to see the ceramics get substantially farther along the track. And, yeah, that is definitely a substantial difference from earlier on in the game, because the ceramics have 60 health instead of the usual 10, and the fortified ceramics have 120 health, which makes them almost mini Moabs in essence. So let's check our pop count, nearly 430,000. So despite being more than 80% of the way to round 100, we have not even popped like a quarter of the balloons that spawn up to that point. Like from round 6 to round 100 in the case of chimps, or round 1 to 100 in the case that we're not playing hard or impossible type modes. So let's hook in some more BFBs as well since we can. And now here is round 85, 2 ZOMGs, so let's hook in the first one. And we will be able to hook in the other one, but why not take this as an opportunity? Actually, round 87 spawns 4 ZOMGs, so we can take that as an opportunity to see how well we do just in terms of that blood damage that I was talking about earlier, which is why I went for the double shot cross path. So let's hook that one in, and we will see here how strong this tower is against the OMGs just in terms of raw damage. So it popped one pretty quickly, which is quite impressive, especially for its cost. And yeah, it's interesting to see. I'm wondering how much testing Ninja Kiwi has put into this tower after the buffs, but before actually implementing this into the game. Because I have a feeling that it wasn't much, considering just how much damage this tower deals. And even with the fact that it can only be placed on water, I still think it's quite OP. It's not even like the Nave Arc, where it's stronger than an $800,000 Ace Paragon. It costs $550K. Like, it's 2/3 the cost, but it can survive like 10 more rounds in free play. And it can only be placed on water. That is, in my opinion, the Nave Arc is still OP, but it's not as OP, it's not as broken for its cost as the Pirate Lord is in its current state. And I did not hook in the DDTs on round 90. That was intentional, by the way, because I just wanted to see how well we do against round 90. And it's pretty good overall. And again, the MIB is definitely helping us here because first of all, we would not have camo detection without it. And second of all, even if we did have a second tier village but not a third tier, the darts would not deal damage to the DDTs because the DDTs are lead balloons. And I don't think the cannonballs would deal damage either unless the cannonballs are normal type for whatever reason for the Pirate Lord. But DDTs are also black balloons, which means they cannot be popped or damaged by explosives. So that's why if you've ever tested a Spectre against DDTs and you're like, why is this thing doing no damage? Well, That's because half of its attacks are darts, which can't pop lead balloons, and the other half are bombs, which can't pop black balloons, and DDTs are both lead balloons and black balloons, so they're immune to both projectile types. Until you get the Flying Fortress, that is, which can pop all balloon types with all of its projectiles, and that's only fair considering how expensive it is, combined with the fact that it's a tier 5 tower. So here we are around 94, and the balloons are starting to make it quite far, and in fact, I'm not sure about this round. It looks like we will make it through, but not by that big of a margin. So here we are around 95, and let's see how we do against this big DDT rush right here. I'll use the ability when I can just to make it a little bit easier on us, and it's looking like we may not actually survive. Okay, well, Spikes tanked 2 fortified super ceramics that were almost popped. So we did beat round 95 as well. And here's round 96 with tons and tons of BFBs, by the way. And some fortified Moabs with those super ceramics that are 120 hit points each. But round 96, because of the way in which we pop the balloons, not all at once, it's looking like we will make it through. And round 97 shouldn't be that hard, but we're not done with 96 yet, for that matter. So I shouldn't speak too soon, I shouldn't jinx it there. But now we're on 97, which we will definitely beat, and round 98 is just a matter of beating all those fortified BFBs and all that, which I'm not sure we're going to. But we will see if we can make it to round 100 with the Pirate Lord. And I'll buff it a little bit even to get there if I need to, but only if I need to. So there's the fortified ZMG, the second one from round 97. Here we are on 98. And speaking of the Flying Fortress, by the way, because I was talking about that tower recently, I'm going to make a video on that tower as well pretty soon, because it now deals plus 10 damage to Moab class balloons. And I did not mean to press the powers button there, so let me go back here and start that one over. We do have lives because of the marketplaces and the monkey knowledge, but let me just try this over. But the Flying Fortress now deals plus 10 Moab damage, which means it's like thrice as powerful as usual, specifically against Moabs. Although despite the patch notes just saying plus 10 damage to Moabs, as stated by Isub in one of his recent videos, it may only be the darts that deal plus 10 damage to Moabs, not the bombs as well. So it's looking like round 98 is just going to be too much for this Pirate Lord to beat on his own. So I'm going to get jungle drums. I'm not even going to bother trying the micro. I'm not saying that I suck at micro. I'm just saying, like, with all those balloons that were getting close to the end there, like, I don't even think it's worth it to try. So I'm not going to waste my time there. But here we are with the jungle drums, which even with the jungle drums, it's looking like we still may get overwhelmed because of all these super ceramics. So yeah, now I am going to try again. I'm not sure why I keep pressing advanced, but in the maps section. But let's go ahead and get a 3rd tier alchemist. Just basic 3rd tier, not with any cross paths or the 4th tier. And we'll see if we can beat this round now. which, considering that this tower got only 1 round less than the Inferno Ring, and the Inferno Ring costs like 50,000, so this tower is a little bit more than half the price, and without buffs it made it only 1 round away from how far the Inferno Ring got. So that's a little crazy to think about. So let's try with a... Let's try 420 Alchemist this time, and Jungle Drums of course. And we have to remember to use the ability when it comes up, when it recharges. So this is definitely looking like a really tough round to beat, but I think we may have it with the 4th tier Alchemist, but I may have spoken too soon because of all these super ceramics. Actually, I did not speak too soon, so I'm going to sell the Alchemist.
Thank you. Come again.
Once we know we're going to beat this round right there, and I'll also sell the village, and we will get 1, 2, 3, and see how we do against round 99 without any buffs. So we managed to take the DDTs down, and the super ceramics, the fortified super ceramics that are spawned by them. So here is the bad balloon, round 100, and we are going to see how much damage we do to this thing without any buffs. Just standard 030 village. And the raw damage of this tower by itself, and we will see if we can beat round 100. Of course, I'll still use the ability though, so let's hook in those DDTs, and we should be able to hook in that ZOMG as well. So just 3 BFBs left, and Geraldo is attacking there. That was not intended, but it's not really going to make much of a difference, if any. And there we go. There's round 100 with the Pirate Lord. And the only round we could not beat without buffs was round 98. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video, you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. And the Pirate Lord, despite being only a little more than half the price of the Inferno Ring, manages to beat the same number, 99, out of 100 rounds by itself, and like without buffs. The Inferno Ring could not beat 99 without Jungle Drums, and the Pirate Lord could not beat round 98 without Jungle Drums and a 420 Alchemist, but all other rounds, buff free, we did it. So, thank you all for watching this video. Let me know what else you want to see in the future on this channel, whether it be for this series or anything else. So stay tuned for future videos on balance changes and patch notes and all of that. And leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more interesting content. And I will talk to you all again in the next video. Peace out.